אני מתכבדת להזמין לבמה את איש העסקים, הפילנטרופ, סילבן אדמס, לראיון עם שרון, כידון.
I grew up in a Zionist home. When I moved to Israel, I decided to devote this next chapter of my life to philanthropic pursuits.
The principal goal was to show Israel in a really nice light to the outside world.
Sylvan, that's a dream come true. The Giro d'Italia here in Jerusalem.
It's the Giro d'Italia, 101st edition of the Tour of Italy.
1 billion first-time visitors to Israel.
Yes, we're in Jerusalem, and we're about to start.
This is not only Ironman, but it's the Middle Eastern Championship. And we're hoping to have quite a number of participants from the Middle East, from our neighbors, as part of the fruit of the Abraham Accords.
Tonight, she is here with us, Madonna!
This competition here in Israel, with the participation of judokas from all over the world, is a living example of how sport brings people together.
We are bypassing the traditional media. We're reaching sports fans, and they will be watching our beautiful geography, showing off the gorgeous landscapes of Israel. Israelis are winners. Whatever we put our minds to, we are world leaders.
Whether we win at the Olympics, we win world championships.
Stage win in the Tour de France. He points to the sky in memory.
Breathe.
Sport diplomacy is something that really works because you're building people-to-people bridges.
We will build something together to promote peace, and cycling is really the good tool for that.
Why not thinking about indeed the World Cup between Israel and the neighboring countries? Why not?
Stay tuned.
Good morning. Welcome, Sylvan Adams.
תודה רבה. קודם, סליחה שאני לא אדבר בעברית היום, כי העברית שלי עדיין לא מספיק טובה, אבל אולי פעם הבאה.
Maybe next time, thank you. And how do we know you're one of the most creative people? You came here with a motorcycle. All of us were stuck in traffic jams, and you came with a motorcycle, so
well,
thank you for that.
If all of you came in that traffic, then I'm smarter than whoever did that.
Okay, and not many know that you actually live here in Israel. You resided in Israel 10 years ago. So tell me, you could have lived anywhere, practically maybe Cap Ferrat, Paris, London. Why Israel?
So, Israel is the Jewish homeland. As you heard in the video, I grew up in a Zionist home. And the best expression of Zionism is with one's feet. So we made the decision about 10 years ago to make Aliyah. And it's been, we're writing the next chapter of our lives here. And, Israel, of course, we all know we are Zionists because it's the Jewish homeland. And I am not Shomer Shabbat. I don't wear a kippah. I don't keep kashrut laws. But you will not find somebody more Jewish than me anywhere.
We'll soon prove that. But there were not easy years. I mean, in the past 2.5, almost 3 years, we've been through a lot ever since October 7th. Did you ever regret that decision during the past almost 3 years, or think maybe it wasn't the best idea?
I would say the contrary. We were all very wounded following October the 7th. The entire country was really suffering, and we had an open wound. But look how we came together. What a magnificent people that we have here. How we were able to pull together despite all of our divisions pre-October the 7th. We dropped everything and really also on October the 7th, who saved the country? It wasn't our military. It was individual Israelis who went down there, and many of them didn't return. And we are the finest of the fine. We have the best people in the world, and I couldn't have been more proud. Despite, I have to say, I had some wobbly thoughts about our military, thinking, how could this disaster have happened to us? But we have fought back like lions, and look at us. We are much safer today than we were on October the 6th.
Yes, and paid the price even today. So let's talk about Israel in general. We are here to talk about that. First of all, congratulations. You were appointed as the president of the Jewish Congress, Israel and the region. So, yeah. How do you view the battle over Israel's image today in the age of fake news and misinformation?
Yeah. So you saw the projects that I was doing pre-October 7th, and the idea was to bring large audiences to see Israel. So whether it was the Giro d'Italia bicycle race, which the most beautiful thing about the bike race was that it takes place outdoors. It was all aerial photography, and over 3 days we had about 1 billion people watch the entirety of our country. We started in Haifa and we finished in Eilat. So with a full day, the first day, a full day in Jerusalem. And so they got to see the entire country, and there's nothing in terms of changing people's views about Israel than bringing them here. And if you can't bring them here physically, if you can bring them here virtually, I will give you the best indicator of how successful that was. We hosted the Giro in 2018. From 2018 to 2019, Israel led the world in tourism growth with a growth rate of 38%. So this is an indicator that these large events worked, and as I said, we brought 1 billion first-time visitors to Israel via their TV screens.
So we have top marketing professionals out here to listen to you. I'd like to understand why you have chosen this path of not the public diplomacy like the old way of Hasbara as we know, and decided to invest on media events, entertainment, sports.
So there is the majority of people out there, the vast majority, I call them the silent majority. They don't have any particular opinions about Israel, but if pressed, they probably would express some negativity. Why? Because of the actions of the haters we see in every Western city, and I can talk about what's going on there, because these are not organic campaigns. This is a planned, financed effort. It's like they flicked the switch after October 7th, thinking Israel was finished. Now it's time to finish off the Jewish people. And it's the Muslim Brotherhood, led by the Qataris, with more than $1 trillion they put into this campaign to defame us. And they're using 3 battlefields against us. They've sent radical imams into the mosques of Europe and America, and to inflame their flock, to preach jihad to them, and that's battlefield number 1. The second one is the education, where they've spent again hundreds of billions of dollars. They're not interested in scientific advancement or engineering innovation. They're there for one reason. They're spending that money for one reason, and it's to inject radicalism, which is firstly, of course, anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic, but of course it's anti-West. We're facing a war of civilizations, and the countries in the West need to wake up.
In the universities.
Yes, and the third one, of course, everybody's familiar with it, is the social media, where again, they're using very sophisticated algorithmic equations to reach as many people as they can. They have bots which propagate their social media messages. So we are really facing a war. We're at war, and we have to realize it. We have physical enemies, but now we have also an eighth front. Besides the 7 physical enemies that we have an eighth front, which is worldwide anti-Semitism. Again, led by the Muslim Brotherhood, financed by the Qataris.
So let's talk first pre-October 7th. When you spent over $1 million on bringing Madonna to the Eurovision in 2019, and bringing Giro d'Italia, and bringing, the soccer teams here, you spent a lot of money, but not leaving like a physical legacy. Why do you believe in this path?
So let's go back to the silent majority that I mentioned. They don't have an opinion about Israel, but again, if pressed, they would probably express something negative. Because of the media coverage of this place, because of the actions of the haters in all of those Western cities, so they start to believe some of the accusations against us, that we are baby killers and that we are colonizers, which is ridiculous in our own indigenous homeland, that we returned after 2,000 years absence of praying and saying next year in Jerusalem. But this is what people believe. If you can bring people a different view, a live view. Again, my experience, I've hosted a lot of actual visitors to Israel. My experience with almost every single first-time visitor to Israel is they are shocked. They're completely surprised by you spend a half an hour in Tel Aviv, and your impression of the country completely changes.
There's a discrepancy between how they view Israel than the fact that it's a modern country, technologized and everything.
But that it's a modern country, and that it's the only country in the Middle East that is democratic, liberal, pluralistic. Where we have freedom every day to live as we wish. So, as I said, my idea was to bring virtual visitors to Israel and to change their impression, or to move them to our side, and it was working. As I said, I know it was working with indicators like the increase in tourism. Unfortunately, October the 7th has changed everything. Nobody's going to come to what they fear is a war zone. We know that we have more traffic than war here in our daily lives, but so it's very difficult to sell Israel like this. And frankly, something has really changed with this massive campaign of anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, anti-Western. And I emphasize that because we are only the first line. We are the canary in the coal mine. And I tell my friends in Canada, if God forbid we go down, they're coming for you next. So they really.
So you work more on social media at this point. We're talking.
So yeah. So I wasn't. I'm not a social media guy.
I wouldn't imagine.
Unlike many of you here, I'm not a social media guy. I like to live in the real world, not on my phone. But of course, I realized I had to get my message out, so I began doing social media, and it's been remarkable. I have millions of views from a guy who started with nothing, and I have enormous numbers of followers. I have enormous engagement. The comments that I'm getting from my social media posts are sometimes 10% of all of the views, which is, they tell me, is a very large number.
Putting yourself in the front also exposes you to criticism against Israel.
Sure.
There's a price to pay here.
Sure. Listen, I'm not afraid of the haters. I'm Israeli. We're tough. And no, I'm not afraid of them.
That's exciting. You see these top marketing professionals in front of us. How do you engage them with this message of working to Israel?
So,
For Israel.
if I can speak directly to you, I would say, my activities, my product is Israel. As you saw in the video, my product that I'm marketing is Israel and our image, and Israel and the Jewish people. And I would ask you all, since you are also in the marketing field, since you are all selling whatever a variety of different things, to think in the back of your mind how you might also be able to sell your country simultaneously with some of your daily activities. And I know there's a lot of creativity in the room.
This is true. Let's talk about, thank you, never enough. Let's talk about the future, because after October 7th, obviously you've changed the strategy you look at. You've invested $100 million donated to Soroka Hospital, and also same amount to Ben Gurion University. So I understand that the Negev is your new passion. What's ahead?
Well, if I can talk about those two and the thinking behind it. So in the aftermath, just after October the 7th, I donated the largest donation I'd ever done, which was the $100 million to Ben Gurion University.
Amazing.
And the reason for that was to reassure our citizens of the South, to encourage people to consider living in the South. This was Ben Gurion's dream. This is where we have our biggest availability of land, and where you can get cheaper housing, which of course we have a housing issue here in Israel, especially the cost of it, and Ben Gurion University is the economic engine of the South. So my idea was to promote the South in the aftermath of October 7th, and to tell the haters, to tell our enemies, to tell our friends, we are here to stay.
Yes.
The Soroka donation happened after one of the buildings in Soroka was hit by an Iranian ballistic missile, and I visited it. First of all, a ballistic missile is the size of a bus. Okay, they're enormous, these missiles, and it was hit by an exploding bus, and it basically decapitated the building. It took the top 2 floors off there. So my $100 million to Soroka will not only repair that hospital, it's going to make Soroka Hospital the best hospital in the entire country.
Sylvan Adams, I would continue to talk to you all day. Thank you so much for what you're doing for us, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure.